Hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast. So, I want to start off today with our daily fact because I still love these facts. They're great. So, let's see what we find. Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I don't think I've ever really heard of someone breaking their thigh bone. Right? I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure people can do that because you can break concrete. But I don't know anyone personally that has ever broken their thigh bone. So that's interesting. Think on that for a bit. But anyways, so today I wanted to kind of talk about pageants because I post about pageants a lot on my Instagram page and how I am involved with them. And I know that many people had quite a few questions about what pageants are like and if it's right for them, if they should do it, and really just if it's worth it. And to answer that last question, it is totally worth it. I love pageants. When I was growing up, I was never much of a pageant girl. I was more of like racing dirt bikes and getting muddy and working in the garage and getting grease on my fingers and really just all the down in the dirt stuff. I was a tomboy growing up, and I think it was my freshman year of high school when I was really like, you know what? Tomboys was totally middle school, right? Everyone tries to shed their middle school persona. And we're all like, wow, we're in high school now. We really got to get our act together. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still do all of that stuff. I don't race dirt bikes anymore, just because, it's a lot of time and a lot of money, and we really just don't have that right now to continue doing it. But I still do ride. I'm not doing it right now, practicing at a track. But we still do ride. So that's a good thing. I do work in the garage all the time. But yeah, pageants were just something that, my family and I joked about. Like, oh my god, it would be so funny if you did a pageant, like, right? And that's kind of how it started. We got a pamphlet in the mail that was talking about the Miss Maine Teen USA and Miss Maine USA pageant. And I had seen that on my Instagram a few times, and I was like, no, like, I wouldn't do that. Like, that's not me. And then my family was joking about it one night at dinner, and they were like, oh my god, it'd be so funny if, like, you filled that out and sent it back in with your information. And so then I was like, yeah, like, I'll do that. like, it's me. I'm not a pageant girl. Like, I'm a tomboy. I wouldn't get into a pageant like that because it's not really something that you sign up for and then you're in. It's not like that. It's where you sign up, you put your information in, and then the people that run the pageant will contact you. And there's like an information registration day where you go in, you watch a presentation about what the pageant is, how it goes, what pageant weekend looks like, and it's kind of like a pre-orientation, if that makes sense. But, so I sent it in, and I got a call from Samantha. Love Samantha. She called me, and she told me about what the day was. We didn't get to talk about it much because I was in Seattle at the time that she called me. But we did like kind of an over the phone interview a little bit. She just asked me a few questions, and then I started getting messages about when the info day was. So me and my mom and my brother's girlfriend at the time went to the information day, and we watched the presentation, and I was looking at it and was like, you know what? this seems pretty cool. I like this. I like the idea of this. I mean, who's to say if I do it once, I don't have to do it again. So I went for it and I had an interview. I actually got interviewed by the woman that runs the pageant, the Clemente family. They're amazing. And so she asked me questions about my delegate form, which is what they call your information, because when you sign up for it, you have to put down some information like, this is my hobbies, this is what I do for sports, this is what I like in school, stuff like that. Just stuff for you to talk about yourself. And so she interviewed me, and on the spot she said, yep, you're in. So at that point, I was considered a state finalist. And I had to raise some money to pay for the pageant, because when I first started, it was a few $1,000s, and I think now it's not as bad, but that might be because I get the discount for doing it so much. Not for so much, but I keep doing it again. So every year that you participate again, you get a discount. And so I was so excited. I read all about it. I had some things I had to fill out, and then it was time for me to kind of pick out my outfits for it, what I need to pack. Of course, the pageant wasn't until November, but I still needed to pick out my pageant dress for it. So I contacted places around me that sold prom dresses, because my thought was, oh, it's just a prom dress. Pageant dresses are not just prom dresses. While you can totally use a prom dress, there's nothing against that. I used my prom dress actually for my first year, I believe, maybe my second. But no, I really loved it. I loved the whole picking out everything. Last year when I did it again, my mom and I totally scheduled a day where we were like, you know what, we're going to go to this place and we're going to try on all these dresses here. We're going to take as long as we want. We're going to make it a girls' day, which I was so excited for. But I have to say, trying on dresses all day is so tiring. I slept the entire way home. We had like an hour and a half drive from where we went. We went to the Ultimate in Boston. Oh my gosh. Every time I go there, it's just an amazing experience. I keep going back. It's a giant store. It's huge. I honestly didn't know stores like this existed. But again, I never knew much about the pageant world. But that was the same place I went for my first year to get my first pageant dress. And I had a woman help me, and she kind of chose dresses for me because I wasn't sure what pageant dresses were like. And she had me try on a few, and I was just like, no, I don't like them. And maybe it was because they were like big and poofy, and I'm not like, they were like ball gowns, like princess ball gowns, stuff you would see in like Disney princesses. And I love Disney princesses, but I never saw myself wearing dresses like that. So I was like, no, I can't use that. And then I was going down the racks, and I found this fully sequenced gold ombre down to champagne pink dress. It was beautiful, and it was a kind of like a bodycon dress. It was tight. It had a sweetheart neckline and 2 straps, and it kind of had these cutouts right under my ribs, and they were like diagonal cutouts that connected back in the middle, and it had a thigh-high slit. It was awesome. I tried on that dress, and I was like, nope, there's no other dresses. This is it. This is the dress that I want. But oh my gosh, I still fit into that dress today, which surprises me because I've gained weight since then. Not like not like horribly. I mean, I don't think. But I definitely have gained some weight since then. But that's also because it's 3 years later. I'm graduating high school. Like, it happens. That's what growing up is like. You gain a little weight. But I mean, I keep working out and stuff, but I never thought I would fit in that dress again because I had it tailored to my body at that time. So it was small. It was very small. I think it was a 0, maybe a 00. But when I looked at it, I was like, there's no way I'm fitting in that. It looked really small on the hanger. And I tried it on and it looked great. But yeah, pageants are pretty awesome, I have to say. I love pageants. I never thought I would ever say those words, but pageants are really great. But so then in October we had our orientation day. That's I think it's 3 hours long, maybe 4. I think it's 3 hours. But we had it in the hotel where we were having the pageant later on that year in November. And what they do is they bring you in, they kind of talk about like what pageant weekend will look like, how you need to prepare for it, what's going to happen, all that stuff. And they give really great tips on how to prepare for it. Like, practice your hair that you want to do because you're the only person that's going to be doing your hair and makeup. So practice that. They helped us critique our walking. People have always told me that I walk like a model. I thought that was a bad thing. That worked out really well for me. Apparently I'm really good at walking. It was something I never really thought about that I would have to practice. At first I was kind of like, oh, no, it's not that difficult. No, walking is difficult. Because depending on the size of your heels, I had tippies. If you don't know what tippies are, they are kind of like platform heels. You have about 3 to 6 inches right under your toes. I think it's 3 inches under your toes. And then you have about a 6-inch heel. I now know why they call them tippies, because it seems like you're on your tippy toes the entire weekend. But you certainly don't have to wear heels like that. I saw a few girls that had flat bottom heels and they were like 4 inches tall. And, they looked amazing. You certainly don't have to have fancy heels or the fanciest dress. One of the girls I competed with had a really, it kind of looked like silk, and it was just a really flowy dress. It looked great on her, but it didn't have the bling that everyone pictures. It wasn't fluffy, it was flowy, and it looked really elegant. And I think she placed top 10, but she looked great in it. Here's what I've learned over the years. When you compete in pageants, it's not about how you look. It really isn't. And I know people are like, well, they're beauty pageants. No, they're pageant. Especially if you're a teen, they are a great scholarship program. But pageants are not just about beauty. They're about your grace. They're how you walk. They're how you present yourself. It's how you talk. It's how you answer questions. They are looking for someone that represents your state. So when you're in the interview, because pageant weekend you have to do an interview, they're going to ask you questions about things on your delegate form. I think every year they've asked me about dirt biking because they look at that and they're like, we don't see many girls that do this. I figured. Many girls don't do this. but it's how you answer the questions. When you are doing your interview on pageant weekend, you have 2 to 3 minutes to let the judges know about you. You want to be yourself. And I know so many people say, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But they are not looking for the girl that won last year. They are not looking for the person that spreads world peace. They are not looking for that person. And if you're like me and you watched Miss Congeniality, you think it is like that. Pageants are really not like that. I mean, the part where they're, all hanging out together and they're having such fun in their rooms and stuff, like that part is real. When you're practicing, that part is real. You make so many memories pageant weekend, and it's awesome. And I love the memories. I've made so many friends from pageants, but it really isn't that nasty fighting kind of thing that you see in Toddlers and Tiaras. I never really watched that, but I know what it is. But it's really not like that. It's so nice because all the girls around you are spreading positivity. They're cheering for you when you're walking on that stage. I know that when we had pageant weekend and we were in rehearsals, the Miss were going up on stage and they were practicing their walking patterns and how they come down the runway and everything. And the teens and I were just screaming. It was awesome. We're cheering for them. We're like, yeah, you go, girl. Like, you look so good today. Like, love that outfit. But it really is about spreading that positivity. But, when it's pageant weekend and you're on that stage and the judges are judging you, they really aren't looking at the beauty. I mean, that does play a part in it, and personally, I really don't think it is about the beauty, because it's not about the physical beauty, It's about the inner beauty. It's really about how confident you are. You need to be able to answer on stage questions. You need to be able to talk about yourself. You need to be able to do all these things that make you look good. That sounds bad, but I mean, really, they are looking for someone that speaks well, that can hold herself up, that really just presents herself well. So that is what they're looking for. But I think I'm going to cut this episode short. I am going to do a part 2 of this. I think I might do it on Monday, actually. I'm going to do it a different day. But I am going to record a part 2 of this episode. Next episode, I'm going to have people ask me questions about pageants specifically, and I will answer those. But thank you guys for listening. I know this is a short episode. I'm sorry. But I will see you guys on Monday. Hopefully. I might do a different day, but depending on my schedule. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.